afternoon. I'm Rob Boskamp, and you're listening to South Texas Midday. Thank you for joining me on this Tuesday, January 13th. The Corpus Christi ISD Board of Trustees voted Monday to close 7 schools, which include 4 elementary and 3 middle schools before the 2026-27 school year. The ISD Board of Trustees was split, but a majority ultimately voted on a single item to close Fannin, Castoris, Sanders, and Travis elementary schools, and Brown, Haas, and Martin middle schools. The decision was driven by declining enrollment, aging facilities, rising operational costs, and a projected $27.5 million budget deficit. Board members brought motions to separate schools from the list. Those motions did not pass. Superintendent Dr. Roland Hernandez first outlined the potential of closing the schools in a letter sent to families back in November. During this and last month, district staff and trustees held a series of community meetings to gather feedback and present data on potential consolidations.
We really wanted to move forward with some consistency for the district and not be right back here looking at more closures down the road, maybe next year or 2 years from now. We really want to try to get as much of this budget deficit resolved as quickly as possible with this step, move on to the next steps to recover more and resume stability for our students and families.
That was CCISD Board of Trustees President Dolly Gonzalez-Trolley speaking to KIII. The campus closures will take effect in August. Students, teachers, and administrators at the closing schools will be reassigned to other campuses before the start of the 26-27 school year. Corpus Christi City Council kicks off the new year today with its first meeting of 2026. Full meeting agenda and public comment session sign-up is available online at corpuschristitx.gov. Today's agenda includes the reading of an ordinance designating the city's tax increment reinvestment zone number 7, a second reading of an ordinance authorizing a $2 million Texas State Aquarium parking lot project. Council members would accept and appropriate funding for the project from the B Corporation Unreserved Fund and amending the fiscal year 2025-26 budget. Also on the agenda is a one-reading emergency ordinance approving the 12th Amendment to TIRZ number 3 project and financing plan to allow reimbursement up to $2 million for government agencies to demolish publicly owned buildings in the zone, as approved by the zone's board of directors. There also will be a Corpus Christi water update with a focus on the Evangeline project. Council members will also share a resolution of commitment to the Coastal Bend Water Alliance, declaring unified commitment to the development of regional water supplies. And on that note, the city remains in drought status stage 3. The next critical step in its contingency plan could happen in November when the entire water supply system reaches a state of level 1 water emergency. Today's combined lake levels of the Nueces River Basin show 10.1% capacity, the lowest it's ever been. That includes Lake Corpus Christi at 11.7% capacity and Choke Canyon Reservoir at 9.4%. The trial of former Uvalde ISD police officer Adrian Gonzalez continues today in Corpus Christi. Lon Gonzalez has an update.
The trial of Uvalde ISD police officer Adrian Gonzalez brought in witnesses who were directly involved in the May 2022 shooting at Robb Elementary School that claimed the lives of 19 students and 2 teachers. Robb Elementary School teacher Elsa Avila testified students were planning what she called a fun day when the shooting began. Avila sustained a gunshot wound during the incident, and once police arrived, said she went into shock.
I know I was going into shock because my legs were already starting to shake. My whole body was starting to shake, and I kept praying, God, please, don't let me die in front of my students. And I wanted to see them to be the best day myself.
More testimony is due this afternoon at Nueces County Courthouse. For KEDT News, I'm Lon Gonzalez.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth toured Texas defense and aerospace facilities on Monday. A stop at SpaceX near Brownsville led to Hegseth announcing that the Pentagon's AI network will be joining forces with Grok, the AI platform built by SpaceX and ex-CEO Elon Musk.
Today, we're excited to announce the next frontier AI model company to join GenAI.mil, and that is Grok from xAI, which will go live later this month.
Pentagon officials say the system will be used to analyze data and support military decision-making as the armed forces expand their use of artificial intelligence. Grok has recently been under fire for generating non-consensual, sexualized deepfake images. The Bureau of Labor Statistics revealed data that shows an increase in jobs in 2 Rio Grande Valley metro areas. The stats run from November of 2024 through this past November, according to the Rio Grande Valley Business Journal. McAllen Edinburgh Mission Metro had 310,000 non-farm jobs in November, up from over 304,000 in November of 2024. That's an about 1.9% increase over the year. Brownsville-Harlingen Metro had over 167,000 non-farm jobs in November, up from 164,000 this time in 2024. And that's staying ahead of state and national job growth. Texas as a state added over 146,000 jobs through November, a 1% increase. National job growth rose by 0.6% in November. A dispute over how to tell the Alamo story has led to a federal lawsuit and raised questions about academic freedom. Kate Rogers tells Texas Public Radio she was forced to resign as president and CEO of the Alamo Trust last October, saying Texas officials pushed her out because of her support for a broader interpretation of the site's history involving Native people.
But a lot of people don't really understand the full history. They don't know that it was a Spanish mission before it became a fort, or that it was actually built by the indigenous people who were part of Mission San Antonio de Valero.
Rogers has sued Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and Land Commissioner Dawn Buckingham for violating her First Amendment rights. She is also seeking to be reinstated as head of the Alamo Trust. In college basketball, Texas A&M Corpus Christi's men's team overcame low scoring in a defensive battle to defeat East Texas A&M 61-50. Both teams racked up turnovers Monday night with nearly 30 between the two to keep overall scoring to a minimum. As a team, the Islanders shot 42.9% from the field but held East Texas A&M to 32.7% shooting. The Islander men's team improves to 9-8 this season, 5-3 in Southland Conference games. They will return home for 5 of their next 6 contests. They host Southeastern on Saturday and McNeese this coming Monday at the Hilliard Center. The women's team will play McNeese at the Hilliard Center on Thursday. And the Texas A&M Kingsville Javelinas will host Texas A&M International tonight in Lone Star Conference action. The men's team enters tonight's LSC game with a 7-7 record this season, 4-2 in conference play. The women's team enters tonight at 2-12, both of those wins from conference play. And taking good care of your teeth and gums is important for all of us, but certainly so during pregnancy. The CDC says oral health during pregnancy and infancy is important to set children up for a lifetime of good health. But Dr. Penelope Dreyer with the Texas A&M College of Dentistry says not all expectant mothers get that information. She spoke to KERA's Sam Baker about all this in today's Vital Signs.
Women, when they go through their first and second trimester, their hormones are fluctuating. And so it's very, very important for them to go ahead and consult their dentist because their gums are going to get swollen sometimes due to the changes of hormones. And so they will notice that their gums are a little bit more red.
So this causes inflammation?
It does cause inflammation of the gums. At least 40 to 50, even sometimes 60% of pregnancy will lead to something called pregnancy gingivitis. That is basically red, swollen gums. When you floss, it's going to bleed. And so most women will notice that, and they typically call their OBGYN or will call their dentist.
How specifically, though, does this affect the child's health, or does it?
It doesn't really affect the child's health specifically, but we want all our pregnant women to go ahead and take care of their gums, because once the baby is born, then it affects the mother's health. And then the mother can also transmit all those bacteria that they accumulate to their babies just by kissing them. And so the baby can get a bad bacteria. If once they start having teeth, they can get cavities.
Are pregnant women talked to about maintaining good oral health as much as they should be?
They're not. Most of them go to their OBGYN, and our OBGYN community, they are versed with what they do, but their training in oral health is not as extensive. And then some women don't visit the dentist routinely, so they don't hear what the dentist has to say about their oral health. So pregnant women should definitely have more education, but unfortunately that's not happening right now.
Is this even more of a problem maybe for low-income women?
Absolutely, because they do not have the resources to go and see a dentist. They barely can see their primary care doctors. So low-income women are at a disadvantage to go ahead and have any kind of oral health education. And so it's very important that the community understands that this is a very sad part of our story and that women cannot access to proper oral health care, especially when they're disadvantaged.
Besides the usual brushing and flossing, what other steps should expected women take to maintain good oral health?
Brushing and flossing, routinely, taking the time to do it correctly, especially during pregnancy. Sometimes we recommend they see the dentist even more often. So instead of getting their cleaning every 6 months, maybe 3 months, using possibly a water pick that could help maintain oral hygiene.
Anything besides that?
Diet is very important. Water is the most neutral thing that women can drink so that it doesn't create cavities in their teeth. Pregnant women, sometimes they get sick and they throw up, so their mouth gets very acidic just because of the morning sickness and so forth. So consuming water will help remove that acidic feeling in the mouth because a lot of women will have that on the first trimester. Something that's really good in diet is cheese. A lot of people don't know that, but actually consuming cheese is one of the most healthy way to prevent decay.
Why cheese?
It's just been known over the years that cheese is something that helps actually clear out some of the bacteria in your mouth. So if you think about it, sugar, bad, but cheese, good.
Dr. Penelope Dreyer is Clinical Associate Professor and Interim Clinic Director of Department of Comprehensive Dentistry at Texas A&M College of Dentistry. And that is the latest news and information on South Texas Midday. I'm Rob Boskamp. Your community arts calendar and more is on the